Welcome to Strategize Your Business Online. And this live is designed for entrepreneurs like yourself who are looking for a dose of business inspiration and, of course, ideas to grow your business in the online space. My name is Dee Boswell-Buck, and I am the digital marketing strategist behind Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. So, I am really excited to have my first guest for 2023, 6 months in. But before she gets to talking, I want to give her a proper introduction. Okay, so here we go. Laura Connor is a LinkedIn marketing trainer, visibility strategist, and self publisher. She loves helping business owners use her 5-step Rethink LinkedIn method to increase their visibility so that they can position themselves as an industry leader and attract ideal clients. Laura has published 9 activity books and journals, including her well received Destination Me activity book series for girls and boys. She's also a distinguished Toastmaster and a twice elected president of Markham Toastmasters Club 4782 in Markham, Ontario, Canada. When Laura is not working, you will find her acting as a taxi mom by driving her sons to their music and basketball activities, or you will find her recording her weekly feel good Friday dance videos. Laura Connor, welcome to the live.
Thank you so much, Dee. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Yes.
Awesome. And like I said, I'm really excited, not just because you're the first guest, but you're Laura Connor. So I'm excited to learn about your upcoming workshop that you have coming up. And it is called So You Want to Write a Book, and also how writing a book will go hand in hand in terms of increasing visibility and positioning yourself as an expert. And of course, this is what got me, Laura, how the journey of writing can be great content to share on all platforms. You had me at content.
All right. Well, I'm glad I got you at content because it absolutely is true. When you have a book, the world is open to you as far as different ways to become visible and for publicity and all that. So, yes, I'll share some tips and things with you with that.
Great,
Absolutely.
great. So before we get into that, Laura, I would love it if, like, I know I gave you that intro, but if you can tell us a bit about, who you are and what is it that you do.
Well, in a nutshell, listen, my story and my journey to from where I was to now almost didn't happen because as a young girl, I was outgoing in my family, church, all of that good stuff. And but when I got to, 12, 13 years old, middle school, that's when a few young men or young boys at the time decided to single me out. Maybe they found me attractive. Who knows what it was? But whatever the reason, the taunting and all the different issues that I had growing up silenced my voice. From middle school through high school through college, I used to walk around in college because I didn't want to be in a group of people that I didn't know because I thought that they were going to be laughing at me. So it was a talk about not wanting to be visible. That was me. I did not want to be visible. But after I moved from Toronto, went to Vegas, city
Mm,
lights, other people call it other things, um, ended up starting to do karaoke. And that was my time when I started to come out and really embrace who I was, the quirkiness to me, the offbeat sense of humor, just the way I am, right? And then gained more confidence doing that, moved back home, started in Toastmasters. And then it was at Toastmasters I realized that I love speaking, I love leading, and let's start a business doing public speaking training. So I started that. And that is public speaking training. Then it added more video training and LinkedIn training to where I am right now. So I tell you all of that to say visibility matters. And I am so happy that I had this journey to go from where I wanted to hide to where now I am really comfortable with being me, helping people grow their own businesses and increase their own visibility, but do it in my own way. So I don't have to be put on airs to be professional looking or however people want to say. I could come and just give value how I am. And that's what I want other people to do. Increase their visibility by being their while being their unique selves.
Right.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing because I'm an introvert. So usually when I tell people, they don't believe that. And I'm like, well, that's the power of social media. Like I make sure I show up wearing the brightest colors and, having that inner Beyonce or whatever it is that people say. And I want to ask you, because you were very shy with everything that happened. So you were an introvert. Would you say that you are now an extrovert, or are you still an introvert?
Still,
Yeah.
I would much rather be at home by myself watching Monk or Matlock or something
I
like
love
that.
Matlock.
Oh, tell me about it. Oh my gosh. Matlock, Monk, Sanford and Son, Columbo. That any of those. Okay, Sanford and Son's a little bit off in that group, but still,
Yeah.
I'd rather be by myself. Um, but I know that people don't follow silent leaders. And
Mm,
so you have to harness the power of who you are to get out and add value and share your message. If you don't get up and speak or make that video or do whatever it is to increase your visibility, you won't be able to impact your world. You won't be able to impact your community. You won't be able to. It's going to be harder for you to get that raise, that contract, all those different things if you want to hide. So introvert 100%, but I do what I got to do.
right. So when you got on that stage for karaoke, did you have this epiphany that, when people reacted, and one of these days I'd love to hear your voice, but did you have this huge epiphany like, whoa, like I'm being noticed? And is that where your journey of learning started?
Well, actually, my first thing with karaoke happened up at the top of the Luxor in a 2 by 3 square foot box.
Oh,
So it was just supposed to be me and the recorder, back in the time when you get the video recording of your karaoke thing. So
uh,
I did it. It was karaoke in a box. Never expected anybody else to see it. And then when I went back downstairs, hanging out in the casino, I had people coming up to me saying, "Hey, was that you up on the big screen upstairs?" And they were laughing and smiling and saying, "Hey, how could you do that without having so much to drink? Or how could you do that? I could never do that." And that's where it actually started because I was making people laugh, making people have a good time, but they weren't laughing at me to put me down or anything. I was actually bringing joy to their world. So who would have thought, like, how many decades later I'm doing these weekly Feel Good Friday videos, right? Where I'm just adding joy. And that's how it started. But it wasn't supposed to be where they would see me, where I did the karaoke to be seen. It was
mm,
supposed to be between me and that video booth. Absolutely.
right.
But
Interesting.
yeah.
So how did that journey connect to LinkedIn?
Okay. So I was on LinkedIn for several years because a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Anu, shout out to Anu, she kept saying, "You've got to be on LinkedIn. You've got to be on LinkedIn." And I was like, "LinkedIn what? LinkedIn who?" And after a while of her constant talking about it, I got on it and I started to use it. And there was another lady, I think it was Goldie, I think it was Goldie. I don't remember what her name is. She had green hair. So
Mm,
talking about just coming, being herself. And she had this challenge, I think it was her, and she said, create videos, a video challenge. And so I did it. And that was my start to really loving LinkedIn because I realized that the power of LinkedIn, you have people that they put their name, they put where they're from, they put their job title, they talk about who they are and what they do on the platform. If I could just use that to use with video and share videos on LinkedIn, the world would be my oyster. The visibility opportunities would just open up, and they actually did. And I remember I was out someplace. This is where it really hit me was I met somebody who I'd never seen in like 20 something years. And as soon as he saw me, he said, "Boy, every time I open up my computer, there you are." And that's when I realized, oh, but I've never seen him like or comment on any of my videos.
mm,
But there he was watching them all, taking it in. And, you have this one marketing piece, all these different impressions add up to action. And I never realized that until he said that. And the rest is history. So I love it. I love it. LinkedIn is the best place. But you know that, Dee.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
I love
that.
LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. And I'm so glad that you talked about the fact that somebody recognized you, but you said that he didn't like anything, like he didn't like show any emotion on it. And that's so good that you shared that, because people are watching. Like, I remembered somebody reached out to me last year, and I shared something on LinkedIn, and it was a post about a business owner, and she reached out because her Instagram account was hacked. And she was like, "What do I do? Should I pay the ransom people?" I'm like, "No, no, no. Let's just get you started all over again." And we were just so proud about what it is that we did for her. And she was very happy. She had to start at rock bottom, but she's very happy. And I was like, I think we should write a blog post about this. And I rewrote the blog post. It got shared on LinkedIn and on other social media platforms. And I was so proud of it, but I thought nothing happened. I was like, well, I'm just really glad about it. And then someone reached out, and when the person reached out, they booked a call. They said to me, "You know what really moved me was when you talked about when that person got hacked, and she didn't make have any emotion on it." And I was like, "Really?" You know? So it is so important just to show up. I totally agree.
100%. And the stats may be a little bit off, but they say for every 100 people, 90% do nothing except for scroll. They don't like, they don't comment, they don't engage, they don't repost. 9% of them, they may like, comment, and engage with your posts, and then 1% are content makers. Now, the percentage may be a little bit off, but really, it's not going to be that much off. 90% of
Wow.
people don't do anything. So it's so important to get out, because if you don't get out, then somebody else is going to be creating content that your ideal client is going to be seeing, taking in, getting to know, like, and trust that person. And then they'll pick them instead of you because you didn't make any content.
Yeah. And I'm just reading the comments here. So I see Mark, and we're connected on LinkedIn, and he said, "I am a big believer in video for visibility." So Laura, I'm not too sure, if you're not following Mark, you should check him out because he has
Okay.
really great videos. Everybody follow Mark. And then we've got Mike here, who's, he's very glad to see you. And yeah, he says, "I'm in this space as well and love how much fun it is to help people find their stories." Good on you, Laura, is what he
All
said.
right. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. I'll comment and engage with you once I go back through and watch the recording. Definitely want to
Yeah.
get to connect with you.
So back to your friend Anu.
Hmm.
She said, "Get on LinkedIn." And I wanted to know, like, what is it that you were doing? Like, was something not working? So what was it that you were doing? And she said, "Laura, you got to check out LinkedIn."
Well, I didn't realize the power of it because I was on Facebook. Okay, so everybody's on Facebook, but I didn't realize that LinkedIn was so powerful as far as the business networking thing. I was in that category with a lot of people who think that LinkedIn is just to find a job or to get talent,
Mhm.
to hire talent. I didn't realize that it could be a place where you can position yourself as a leader in your industry. So here I am running these public speaking workshops and doing public speaking coaching and training. My ideal client is on LinkedIn because so many people want to improve their advance their careers or position themselves as leaders, and you need to learn how to speak. And so why wouldn't I go on LinkedIn? So that's why she kept saying, "Laura, you got to go on LinkedIn. Laura, you got to go on LinkedIn." So Anu, thank you. Thank you.
Shout out.
Yes.
Laura, if you can tell me, like, who is it that you work with? Like, can you describe who your ideal client is?
Yes, absolutely. So I enjoy working with business owners, coaches, consultants that are ready to take video and LinkedIn and putting themselves out there seriously, and are ready to invest in themselves and in their craft, because it doesn't happen overnight. But no matter how scared you are, you can position yourself as a leader by using video and getting on LinkedIn and other type of content. So I'm not putting down posts, graphic posts, and different other type of things, but videos where people warm up to you. So business owners, coaches, and consultants. I love real estate agents and brokers in the fact that I used to do real estate, and I know that a lot of the methods of marketing are the same as it was when I was in real estate. And video is where, it's such a big investment that someone has to do, whether purchasing or selling their home or their investment property. LinkedIn and video is what really can attract those ideal clients and warm them up to you, so that you're the only person that they want to speak to, because you've shared so much value on LinkedIn, with video, and on your other platforms. So those are people who I like to work with. And then
Mhm.
also, there's a lot of organizations that, I've done a couple different videos over the last while talking about the importance of having everybody on your team leveraging LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
all of your employees, all of your sales staff, and your sales team, the owners, and the different leaders need to be on LinkedIn and networking and creating those business relationships. It is so important, but very few people are actually doing it. If you go through, if you own a business, I want you to go and look at your business page for your company, and then also look through the people that are there and see if all of the people that are listed under your company are actually still working for your company, or
Mm.
actually if they have a profile. And if you don't do that, and Dee, I'm sure you tell your clients the same thing. If they're not there on LinkedIn, then you're hurting yourself, because this is a business networking platform. And if you have people who say that they work for your company, and they have your company listed as their current employee, but they no longer work there, and let's say they start saying a whole bunch of garbage stuff, it represents your brand,
That's
your
so true.
business, right? So I love to be able to train entire teams as to how they can get their organization, their whole team, leveraging LinkedIn, so that they have a huge presence with their current clients, with future clients, and all that. So anybody who really wants to just get out there, I'm tired of silent leaders. Let's just say I'm so tired of silent leaders, and I want to help people use LinkedIn. And here's one more thing, Dean, and I'm not sure if you noticed this. There's so many industries that people are not represented here. So you see very few
Yeah.
plumbers, you see very few electricians, you see very few teachers, you see very few preachers. That's a soft spot for me, preacher's kid. But I want to get all those people on there as well. People who don't use LinkedIn, there still is space here, and you can have a voice and position yourself as a leader in any industry.
I 100% agree. And I think people need to realize that at the end of the day, all of these LinkedIn accounts, they're of people, right? So people will follow you, and a lot of people are like, well, it's my business, or but it's people who have these accounts. I mean, I connected with somebody on LinkedIn, and then they reached out. They greeted me in the DMs, and I read their bio. They have like a place, a fun center kind of thing. And I said, do you do anything for kids? And he's like, well, yeah, we do. And I said, well, my daughter's birthday is on such and such a date. And I mean, connecting with that person, we had her birthday at that spot. I'm on LinkedIn here as a business person, but my daughter had a fun time there.
That I totally relate to that. And I'm glad you've mentioned that, because I had a similar experience with uh, Randy Brooks, one of my running coaches for my sons. I see very few basketball coaches. I've got a soft spot for them too. But any type of coaches, music teachers, things like that, they're business owners, right? But I don't see a lot on the platform. But Randy was on the platform showing clips of his athletes in action, and I needed a running coach for my son. When I needed it, who was I supposed to go to? Randy's the only one that I knew, because I saw his posts consistently on LinkedIn. And
There
so
you
that's
go.
how we connected. And so absolutely, a lot of small business owners don't realize that they need to have a seat or have a place on LinkedIn. 58 million businesses are on LinkedIn. Just because you might be starting out, or you have what you might consider a small business, doesn't mean that you should not be on LinkedIn as well. You absolutely have to. Because if you're not, then people are going to say this is a fly by night operation.
Yeah,
So you're hurting yourself by not being there.
I
So
agree.
I'm ecstatic, and I just love helping people to get on there. Let's just say that. Let's just say
I
that.
love to hear your passion. And, speaking of passion, Laura, I want you to tell us about your new project, which is called So You Want to Write a Book Workshop.
Oh gosh, thank you. So I'm so excited about this. And everything kind of works together. So I'm part of Markham Toastmasters Club 4782. Shout out to the best club in the GTA. Now, we had a workshop, and at the workshop that was being led by Susan Fromstein, who is my co host for this event, we realized that we had 5 published authors in our Toastmasters Club, which
Ooh.
is a high percentage. And so after the meeting, we decided, hey, let's put together a workshop on how to write a book. Because maybe if there's so many of us here, but we don't see that in other circles, maybe other people might be interested to learn how they could write their book. And so on June 10th, Saturday, June 10th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., right here in Markham at the historic Markham Train Station Community Center, we're going to have our first workshop, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun because Susan has written 4 different type of books. She's written 2 business books. She's written a murder mystery book, and then
Ooh.
she's written another. It's called The Grin Reaper, humorous look at dying, or something to that effect, right? She's written that. We're going to have a panel discussion with 4 of our published authors, different genres. Gary Pennington he has traveled abroad and led a school, and so he's going to document his journey. Well, that's what he did in pictures, and um, he's a great book, and he's done one type. Jim Walker has done he has a trilogy right now, military fiction. We have Sylvia Clary, Lisa Pinnock. They've written chapters for books, and they've also Lisa's co-authored and published books with a bunch of different co-authors, different genres. I do medium, low, medium, and I'm getting into high content books. So it doesn't matter the type of book that you have in your head. We want to show you that no matter what the genre, no matter what you want to put out there, you can write your book. And so for aspiring authors and people who want to be self-publishers, because the world of self-publishing is open to everybody, you'll get to learn that, and you get to be around a supportive group of people. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. And I think everybody should have a book. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
You mentioned Lisa Pinnock, so I just
Yes.
want to I'm going to shout her out. I saw her 2 weeks ago at Word on the Street. So, but I've known her for quite some time, and it was so good to meet her in real life. So, hello, Lisa, Lisa, Lisa,
Yay,
Lisa.
Lisa. I can't wait for you to be there. Can't wait. It's gonna be great because even when we're talking and we're sharing, Susan and I are meeting people and we're inviting them to come to the event. And a lot of people will say, well, what can I write? I don't have anything to write about. And yes, you do. Yes, you do. And if you don't think that you have a 300-page novel, you probably have a journal that you could do. If you had to care for kids, like, there's journals and checklists that you can put together that you might have used raising your kids, or you might have used if you had to care for a loved one, or if you were losing weight, or for coaches. You have worksheets or check journals that your athletes should be following and keeping track of their progress. If you might write poetry, you may write like quotes. There are so many different things that you can do. So you don't have to write a big, huge book. You can write short, medium, low, medium content books, activity books, coloring books. I mean, here, let me show you. I have a couple of these books,
Mm.
and has the word searches. So if you love word searches, if you love anything, you can put it together. And that, plus, if you have stories about your life, why wait until you can't remember them, or you're gone and your kids and your family would wish that you could share those stories? Share those stories in a book. And as I said, it doesn't cost you thousands of dollars to do it. So I just want everybody to write their own book and believe that they can, and take that first step.
So, you know what? I think I'm going to skim over this question. I'm going to say it, but you pretty much answered it, because that's one of the questions I have here for you is who is this for? But it sounds like this is for everybody.
It's for everybody. I mean, and granted, I know everybody says, okay, you have to niche down, and I get that. But writing a book, it's taking what's here, putting it on the page so more people can learn from your lessons, your experiences, the knowledge that you have. So um, definitely want coaches and people who have their own business to write books. If you're a real estate agent, really, you need to be writing a book because there's so many things that go into buying or selling a house. If you are a pastor, a preacher, a Bible teacher, you have all of your videos on YouTube. Take those things down,
Mm.
write a book, do a Bible study book with it. If you're a coach, if you're a business owner, anything, you have it in you. I want to help you to get it out of you.
I love that.
That might sound funny, but you know what I mean.
No, I know. And I think everybody else knows what it means. And I want to say shout out and a hello to Natalie. And Natalie, put it in, I'd love if you don't mind putting it in the comments. She's a published author as well.
Yay.
And then I'm so happy to see Shares Benjamin on. I follow her as well because she writes some really interesting articles right here on LinkedIn, a different perspective, and sometimes like a really good perspective, like to celebrities and things like that. And then she ties it into marketing. So please, people, check her out as well. So here's my question to you. Like, do you have to
Mhm.
be a natural at writing, or is that what this workshop is all for?
That's what this workshop is all for. You definitely don't have to be a natural. And again, because there are so many different genres and so many different takes on writing a book, uh, you don't, you can start where you are. You could start where you are and work through that process of deciding what you want your first book to be. And it's probably not going to be the best, but that's okay. Get it out and you start. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? Everybody has to
Yeah,
start somewhere. So definitely you don't have to be a big writer to write a book.
right,
Matter of fact, let me show you before you go on. Here's the thing. Look at my book, Destination Me. So you
right.
mentioned that in the opening. It's handwriting and
Hmm.
coloring. All right, coloring pages. This was my first one that I wanted to do for a couple years and sat on it for 2 years. And then when I finally decided to do it, published it, got a lot of visibility, a lot of well wishes, and also landed a spot on um, what is Jill Deacon's show, 99.1,
Oh,
right? Because of the book. Not
wow.
because of my pretty face, although that had a little to do with it,
I'm quite
but
sure.
because of the book. Because of
Wow.
the books. And so you definitely can put your book together.
So the books
Definitely.
really do help with visibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I kind of alluded to it because you talked about how the journey of writing a book is great content as well.
Yes, it's great content. And you mentioned one of the people who are listening right now or tuning in. Uh,
Natalie.
Natalie, she writes different blog posts or different LinkedIn posts. Posts like that, you can take that and make it into a book. So you can have a bunch of different chapters based on content that you've already done. I mean, Dee, you talked about repurposing last week, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure people have tons of content that they have already shared that they can put them together in a book, put some lessons to it, and there you have your book with content that you've already created.
Right. And you're going to be their guide to help them get this done.
But of course, what in the
Yeah.
muss? What in the muss?
Love it. I love it. So, if you can just repeat again, Laura, because Mike wanted to know, and so Mike wanted to know, Laura, can you give the details, as in the address again, of your writer's workshop? And before you share that, Laura, I myself, what I'm going to do is I will be sharing like a standalone post for Laura a little bit later on today. And then because I like to repurpose, I'm going to be sharing it, Laura, on my other social media platforms. So please excuse the tagging that's happening. But Mike, you'll definitely get that information. But Laura, if you can share that info right now.
Yes. Okay. Well, Mike, and for everyone else, Saturday, June 10th, in a few days from now, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Markham Train Station Community Center. That is at 214 Main Street North in Markham, right at Markham Road in Bullock, the GHOST station there. So there's free parking. You could drive there, and there's free parking there. And you could go to visible visibleToTheMax.com /write your book. And if you use Dee's promo code, DEEBB, all caps, you'll get $5 off your registration. So
Nice.
visibletothemax.com
Awesome.
forward slash write your book.
Right. And like you've really removed any excuse not to be there. I mean, you mentioned free parking, so.
There you go. But hold on. Free parking, plus we're going to feed you.
Ooh.
Now, don't be fasting for a couple days and think that we're going to feed you that much, but definitely we're going to have some food there. You won't be hungry. Your stomach won't be growling. Starbucks is providing some coffee. We're going to have some great food. Our authors will be there with their books. We're going to have a supportive, fun environment. It's going to be off the chain. I
It
know I'm probably
sounds
dating myself, but it's going to be good.
No, it sounds great. Off the chain for sure. So thanks so much for sharing. And oh, one more question, Laura.
Yeah.
Like you sound very excited. I mean, I'm excited hearing about it, not just because of the parking, but it just sounds like an amazing thing. And I love anything that not only helps business owners, but just helps people to express themselves. What has the feedback been like?
The feedback has been amazing. We have quite a few attendees coming, and the people who couldn't make it, they're like, put me on to your next one. And so a lot of people are like, yes, I want to come. Some have registered, some cannot, but everybody is like, yes, I wish I could write a book. Still have a few people that are saying, well, what am I going to write? And hopefully, if they watch this video, they'll realize, yes, I do have a book inside of me because your story needs to be shared. And so the feedback has been amazing. Really, really happy. We want to take this across the GTA. Matter of fact, across Canada. Matter of fact, across North America. Matter of fact, across the whole world. We're dreaming big for this because everybody has a story. So
Yeah.
we want to help people share it.
Thank you so much, Laura. So, I know that you're definitely here on LinkedIn, so you can include this, but, I love to ask my guests, like, what social media platforms do you typically focus on for your business? Like, is it only LinkedIn or do you like to lean on other ones as well?
Okay, my go-to is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I know who I'm networking with. Facebook is on there because that's where all my church folk are at. So that's and the people from high school. So I love being on Facebook as well. I love TikTok. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but you see how I am. TikTok is a natural place for me to be, but ideally it is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place. LinkedIn is for so many reasons. We could do a whole other talk about how LinkedIn is so great,
Yeah.
but LinkedIn is really my number one spot.
And I want to quickly say, like, I do have my TikTok account. I don't share as often because I'm as I wish. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're at least showing up where you can, right?
Right.
So, but in terms of visibility, everyone, I want to say that I opened up my phone, I went to TikTok, and there was Laura doing a live. Okay, I was pleasantly surprised, and I sat in Laura. I didn't
Yes.
at the time. I mean, I'm much more familiar now, people, but at the time, I was like, oh, how do I engage? But, if I didn't know Laura, I mean, that's visibility right there. So, got to show up.
Yes. And it's funny, you were on one, and then another lady from church was on there. And it's like, okay, it's important to find the platform that suits you and to show up. But you're right. Seeing me on TikTok and then seeing me here on LinkedIn and then maybe seeing me on Facebook because you know how they know everything about you and they push you to everybody who you're kind of connected with. Before you know it, they feel like they know you, and that's just easier for them to do business with you, right?
Right.
Because they see you all over the place. You're omni. Well, I don't want to say you're omnipresent. I only leave that for one person, but you're all over. Let's just say that you're all over.
Yeah, for sure. So, Laura, what are the top lessons or feelings that your clients walk away with after they work with you?
They feel like they can do it, whatever that it is. If they felt that they were too scared to get up and speak, I see this all the time, like in my Toastmasters groups and with my public speaking trainings. After they finish that, they feel that they can go and command the stage or do that presentation. Um, they also feel fun. Like, look at me. This is what you see is what you get. My husband said that on our first date out. He sat there across the table at this pizza joint we went to, and he said, "What you see is what you get." And for real, 20 years later, tomorrow is 20 years. Um,
Ooh, happy early anniversary.
yeah, But what I saw was what I got. Loved it all, love it all. But anyways, I say that to say, I say that to say, what was I talking about right there? Um, you're going to leave not feeling like I have to be quiet. You're going to be confident enough to bring your whole self to whatever it is that we were working on. LinkedIn, public speaking, making videos, you're going to show up in you as your authentic self and take the stage. And so that's how people are going to leave when they work with me.
And I want to
No
share.
quiet people.
Yeah, I want to share. Mark says here, I like that Laura doesn't take herself too seriously in with her all of her dances. And what I love too, Laura, is like sometimes you include, like you'll be teaching, I guess, in a class, and you're including those individuals who I'm sure some of them are introverts, right? And you're all having a good time.
Yes, and that's funny because for one, I did one at my Toastmasters club, and the first time I did it, one person did not want to be in there. They were kind of nervous, right? But then when I did it the next time, they were in on the video. So it was kind of like, okay, I got you in. But I love, again, that whole thing of video and collaborations, which I know you're gonna probably in the future you'll talk with somebody about the power of collaborations. But these videos, they make people laugh. I do it with other people, and we just have fun. And the engagement and the visibility and the relationships are second to none. I get private messages all the time about people saying how they look forward to those videos.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it's not business related, but I'm adding joy to someone's life, helping them to start their weekends off right. And so there is great value for that, even though I'm just acting like myself and doing what I like to do and having fun. So everybody's not going to be me. You show up how you want to show up because you are going to be sharing value to the people who you're supposed to work with.
Love it. So I know you mentioned it, but if Laura, if you can share your promo one more time, and I want to say everyone that her promo will be shared up on my platforms. And Laura, I love to repurpose. So this stuff will be embedded on my website. So I want to say that your for your next because I'm not too sure when my website will be updated by next week, but for your next event, let me know, and then we're going to make sure that we have like another link to your next event. So one more
Wonderful.
time, Laura, like what is the promo?
All right, everyone, you need to get your ideas out of your head and onto the page. And you do that. You can do that by attending our So You Want to Write a Book workshop, which will be Saturday, June 2nd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Markham Train Station Community Center, which is at 214 North Main Street, the corner of Markham Road and Bullock. If you want to get your tickets today, because I know you do, you need to go to visibletothemax.com/write your book. Visibletothemax.com/write your book. Use the promo code exclusively for Dee's community, capital DEEBB, all caps, really, and you get $5 off your registration.
Okay, and you said Saturday, June 2nd. It's Saturday, June the
Did I
10th.
say June 2nd? Boy, I'm going into the
Yeah,
past.
it's okay. It's okay. I got my
June
pen and I'm
10th.
catching it. We want to make
Thank
sure we get
you.
everyone there. So, Laura, thanks so much for coming on to this live. How can people find out more about you, Laura?
Well, they can go to any of my social media channels or platforms, profiles, at Mrs. Laura Connor. They're all the same, MRSLAURA CONNOR. You'll see my mug there. Same one across all platforms, and you can connect with me there. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, please send me a connection request. Say, hey, Laura, I saw you chatting up a storm with Dee. Love to connect. I'd love to connect with you. And yeah, on all those platforms. So you can go to Connor Speaks, but really, you want to connect with me, network, LinkedIn at Mrs. Laura Connor.
And I guess for sure, like everybody's going to see you in about 2.5 days for the Friday dance.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have to put out those. Listen, who would have thought? I did those at the beginning of COVID. Never thought that 3 years later I'd still be doing them and still having impact with them. So, you just got to do what you want to do and keep doing it. It's adding value. If it's adding value, keep at it. And I love doing them.
Right. Well, thanks again, Laura, for being my first guest for 2023. And everyone,
Yeah.
you look out for the post a little bit later for sure on LinkedIn and on my other social media platforms. And we're going to catch up with like a lot of the comments. So glad to see everybody here. And thanks again, Laura.
Thank you, Dee. The pleasure is all mine, and I appreciate you for this and all the success as you continue on. And connect with everybody after. Take
Yeah.
care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.